I've been in Little Brook, Maine for 3 days, and I can tell that something isn't right here. The town's barely big enough to be a dot on the map. It's got the kind of charm to it that makes it seem as though nothing has changed in decades. A nice little diner, a cute inn, plenty of boats down at the dock that are happy to take you out fishing, or just for a ride along while you have a few old beers. And not a single old person in sight. No kids either. It might be a weird thing to take note of, but it's the truth. Everyone's between the ages of 20 and 40. No one younger, no one older. There's a bar down the end of the road. I pull into it late one night. The town is isolated. People don't normally come by. I'm heading towards the front doors when I see two people standing by them, in fierce conversation, hand waving and everything. Not wanting to get into a bar brawl, I duck into an alley instead. One of them, the hardware store owner, Ernie, says, "This isn't any good, officer." "Don't call me officer, I'm not on duty." "Clint, I'm being serious. He sticks around any longer, and we're gonna have some problems. The waters are hungry," says Ernie, his voice taking on an almost hushed tone. "My wife found a grey hair this morning." Clint hisses, "Shit," out through his teeth. "And I know for a fact that Janet—" "Don't talk about Janet," says Clint. "She comes into my station every other week complaining about wrinkles. Don't know what she expects me to do. We can't stick the locals in water, and no one comes through here these days." Ernie says, "Well, we have to do something about it, and there's a stranger in town right now." My stomach drops down into my feet, mouth going dry as I try to piece together what they were talking about. Some kind of sacrifice, it sounded like. Something to do with hungry waters. And with me. I was the only person staying at the inn. Clint points out, "You heard him at the diner yesterday. He's got a kid, he's gonna see her." "She's in college," says Ernie. "Ain't like she's a tiny tot." "We had a deal at the start of this. No one with kids," Clint points out. Ernie counters, and that's before the highway started redirecting everyone away from Little Brook and towards Outerborough. "We don't have a choice anymore, Clint. You're the officer. It's your job to get them in the water." Clint frowns and says nothing, turning to leave. Ernie calls after him. "If you don't do it, I will." The bar door slams shut as Ernie goes inside. Without hesitation, I turn and hitch it back across the street and towards the inn. Everything is close together in this town. I go straight to my room and shove everything back into my bags, flinging it over my shoulder and heading out to the lobby. I'm not even planning on checking out, but Ernie's there waiting for me, talking to the woman that owns the place. I duck my head and step outside. Ernie follows me. "Leaving so soon?" he asks. "Gotta get out of here if I'm gonna make my daughter's birthday," I say, not breaking stride. "You should stay longer." Ernie grabs me by the shoulder. "It's gonna be better for everyone." I shake him off me, shoving him hard. "Fuck off, man." Turning, I head for the car again. There's a puddle on the ground. In the reflection, I see Ernie draw a knife. I barely move out the way in time. The thing that these people don't realize is that I might be a respectable father now, but I was a real arsehole in my younger years. Part of a biker gang, I know how to disarm a knife from someone. Grabbing Ernie's wrist, I twist hard, pulling his arm behind his back. With one foot, I kick his legs out from under him. Ernie's knees hit the ground. The woman comes out. "This is all a misunderstanding." Pulling my own knife out of my jacket, I shake it at her, and then hold it against Ernie's throat. The sharp of the blade presses against the soft meat of his throat. "Don't take another step," I warn. "I don't know what the freaks in this city are doing, and I don't want to know, you hear me? Feed the water my ass." She goes pale. Ernie tries to twist away from me, but I press the knife harder against his throat. "I'm gonna get in my car, and I'm gonna leave. You'll never hear from me again." "Alright," says the innkeeper, waving her hands at me. "Just don't hurt Ernie." I shove Ernie forward and turn for the car. He makes a lunge for me and I swing around, slamming my pocket knife deep into his eye. There's a beat of silence as blood spills down his face. Then Ernie falls backwards, screaming and clawing at his cheek. The woman shrieks and I get in the car, slamming the key into the slot and flinging it into drive. The innkeeper throws something at the back of the car. It bounces off the truck harmlessly. The tires squeal over the ground as I rip out the inn's parking lot, leaving black streaks on the tarmac. I don't stop, not even when I hit the highway. Not until I'm 6 hours away and have crossed state lines. I don't know exactly what was going on in Little Brook, but I do know this. You should never try to kill someone if you aren't already willing to die yourself.